Hey, what's up? Wardrobe here with Jeffy from Hexy to Hexy. It's not that, it's Hex to Hex. Let's be serious now. Uh-oh, someone did mute their computer.
Jeff.
No, it's
Todd.
good. Go ahead.
That was Toddy poo-poo. All right. Seriously, this is no time to mess around, people. We're talking about war games. This is serious. No playing around. No pajama wearing. Mute your phones.
How about you going live?
I'm live. Oh, that's me going live? Well, good. Thanks for watching. Okay, everybody. Just because I want to do this. Oh, Hex to Hex is watching. I got this game from Mark Ruggiero. Ruggiero. Oh, boy. Enemy at the Gate. So I want to show it and unbox it. So we got McMurray here with us.
What's up, everybody?
Take these guys off the screen here. Let's make this a solo layout so we can just see the game. And they're going to do a little color commentary and ask questions. But first, let's do this. And here we are. Hey, all right. So let me just state this first here. Now, this, you want this unboxing to be evergreen and last for a long time. But I do want to say I bought this from Mark Ruggiero, who is selling mini games, as you saw, many of you know, on Ardwolf's channel. He started the process, but he and his wife are both going through cancer, which is just terrible. Awesome, terrible, terribly. And so he's been selling games. So if you're on, primarily it looks like through Facebook, that's where I see him anyway. If you see him and selling it, he's a trusted seller. He wraps it up great. Yes?
Yes, very much so. Very good seller.
And he's asking good prices for them. He would welcome extra if you want to throw in a little extra. And it's all, pretty much going to take care of, although he is buying some games, but I think we all support that. He's kind of focusing in on, I don't even want to get, I think like Labatt and some ASL. He's focusing on some of the big boys he's always wanted to play. But he's selling a ton of different games. He's been obviously a collector, good selection. Anyway, he was selling this, and I was interested in this, but I definitely bought it, was encouraged to do it just because of the situation he's going through. So help him out. He and his wife, I think Evie is her name, I believe. But he just got his first treatment last Friday, and so hopefully he's doing good. So hopefully you're doing well, Mark. All right. So Enemy at the Gates. I've got a little bit of OCS going here. Let's see. I've got Guderian's Blitzkrieg, which is the very first one. I got that from a lovely gentleman out in West Virginia named Jeffy. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
I've got Korea, Beyond the Rind. So it's about
watermelon.
It's
Watermelons, cantaloupes, honeydews.
Or pork rinds.
Yeah, it's about both those. It's to get pork rinds against the fruits and vegetables. So it's kind of a
pork
battle.
rinds win every time.
Every time. That's really great. Anyway, all right. So Beyond the Rhine is another way to pronounce that. So let's see, Smolensk and the Third Winter, which I'm not really sure why I bought that one. I think it was during their sale, and I was weak. So
did you say Blitzkrieg Legend?
If I didn't, I should have. The Blitzkrieg Legend. So I've got a few of them. I don't have Case Blue, and I mean, there's a bunch I don't have, obviously. But so Jeff can fill us in on some details. But this Case Blue replaced this, but I'm not paying $500 because I don't. Anyway, there's just no. I'm not gonna say I'll never own it, but it's gonna have to change your price. So Jeff, do you know the story? I mean, this Case Blue is this plus more, right?
Yeah, I don't know the whole details because I think it was Kev that told me about it. So I think there's a couple of games that it encompassed. Was it Hugh's Pocket, I believe, is part of that?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yep.
Yeah. So
Hugh's Pocket and this, and I'm sure they added stuff. And then what people do is they marry it up to Guderian's Blitzkrieg 2. So not the one I have, but the I guess really the third edition, because they did Guderian's Blitzkrieg 2, and then they did a second run of it, right?
Right.
So
Right.
there's all that. So you can see it's kind of the good old classic OCS covers. I do like what they're doing with the covers now for sure. But you can kind of see, used an old photo for one, and then some sort of classic painting for the second game. And by the way, it's kind of interesting thinking about this in the sense of when they were coming out. It's a little thicker box. They started to beef it up a bit. I did notice that they really started leaning into the Western Cowboy font. Not really sure why they went that way, but they did.
I just wish they would have got all their logos lined up on all the boxes.
Yeah. Amen. And here they don't have like the introductory scenarios. I thought they probably did that for the first few. No, they just did it for Guderian Blitzkrieg 1, and then this one they just get into it. I was reading the designer notes and kind of thoughts about playing and all that, and maybe I'll just show that here when we're into that part of it. So this is you can see the Stalingrad pocket to Manstein's counterattack, Army Group South, 19 November to 14 March. Each turn's about half a week. So this is about 90 to 100 plus turns. So it's a big old beastie boy. And what was the other thing I was going to say about this? We'll look at some of the scenarios, and it's interesting what they've done with that too. So you see the back. It's in very good shape. The box. I'm not really a huge collector. So if it hadn't been perfect, I would have been okay with that. More about just having a copy of it and playing a little bit of it. So kind of the older school look, just the design, complexity. It's all the same as the other stuff, but it goes into all the little details about it. It's fun reading. You can imagine being in the store picking this up. So let's take a look inside. And it's partially punched. Started rounding it and doing all that. So it's the old school supply counters. The fueling, fuel and all that stuff.
The old loss counters, those are the old ones.
Yep. DG. And here's the cowboy font. Really don't know why they went with that.
Jesus.
Exhausted. It's pretty funny. Just kind of go with it. Railhead. So I'm not going to go through all the counters. I don't think there's much of that. Oh, this is interesting. 2000. So this game came out, 94?
94.
And so there have been some updates and stuff. We'll go over a couple of them, but I think there were some counters that came out. So this says 2000. There are some Christmas counters or whatever.
Yeah.
Where they update stats or they update some things. So
I
kind of
thought
cool.
they were Christmas themed counters. I was like, it's a little morbid, but all right, cool. Yeah,
The
Santa
94
Claus's reindeer. 94
errata. So this is pretty good. This is a pretty good, very good copy of this. More 2000 counters. Normal stuff there. Railhead. Some of the, and it's just the print is, it's good. It's just a little smaller, I think, than probably the modern day. I could, if I were a really good video person, I would pull this stuff out and show you, compare it to a new one. Anyway, so there's that. Oh, hey, are these in the, oh yeah, this is still in the game, right? Jeff, Reserve.
Yep. Reserve's a big component of this series.
So we're going to look at the maps. Let's look at the maps last. Series rules 2.0. I would just go ahead. Now, Jeff, when you played Guderian's Blitzkrieg 1, you used the original rules.
I did. That was interesting.
Here's the reason I'm not sure I want to do that, because I'm like, well, I want to learn how to play the new rules, because that's what most people use for most of the games. I'm afraid it'll confuse me starting with those originals, but maybe not. I don't know how different they are. But anyway, these are in good shape. There's nothing written on. There's the air unit stuff on the back. Here's more of the Western font. This is the Enemy at the Gates book. So the exclusive rules. What's interesting about this is it doesn't feel so crazy thick. It's pretty, it's 36 pages. I think exactly the same number. No, 40 pages for that. The Russian reinforcements. So what's interesting I was noticing as I went through the scenarios in this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, just 5, 6 pages of special rules. All the designer notes. I feel like it's, oh, actually, this isn't the one I'm thinking of. So there's the winter campaign. That's 34 turns or less, it says. So that was interesting. A lot of them say that. But some of the scenarios are, so you got then the Uranus offensive, 4 turns. There's a bunch that are 1 and 2 mappers, so that's cool.
Yeah, I think McMurray was in there.
Okay, hold on. The Cheer River battles. So I bet a lot of Panzer battles came away from this. I bet.
Yeah, had to.
There's the Stalingrad relief operation, which I think is Stalingrad Pocket.
It's probably Hoth's 6th Panzer's coming up.
4th
Because
Panzer.
Stalingrad Pocket, are you talking about the SCS game?
Yeah.
That's mainly focused on the Russian encirclement.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
This probably has Bagration in it, doesn't it? I mean, no, you said it had Uranus in it, right?
Yep.
Not Bagration, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
so
you're
Migration's a couple years off.
Yeah, well, if it's Uranus, then it has to be.
So 2 map Little Saturn. Little Saturn campaign starts. Operation Star.
Oh, wow. That's from Army Group South, SPI box I have.
Operation Gallop. The campaign 28 January 43 and beyond, 14 turns.
They got 4. That's a 4-map game in that little ass box.
Yeah, no. And then Von Manstein's Backhand Blow.
Oh, there we go.
8 turns, perhaps a little less. And that's all the scenarios. That's a lot of scenarios though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is a respectably hefty box, to be honest with you. That's impressive.
Well, what's interesting is it's a pretty thin box, and you'll see. I mean,
Sorry, I mean hefty in terms of contents. It is.
Oh yeah.
Jeff was right. It's a slim box.
In some of the notes, they talk about Stalingrad pockets. One of the scenarios is Stalingrad pockets. This is older. This is the predecessor to it. So
yeah.
Excuse me.
That seems to be a relatively common theme with them, though, is doing something in OCS and then putting it out in SCS.
So I was wrong about the number of turns. It looks like there's 34 turns. So I don't know what I was thinking. I did my math wrong, but that's
we all forgive you.
Well, you've got because isn't there? No, yeah, right. There won't be. Okay.
So anyway, there's the turn record chart. Kind of interesting, just a different design. This is all on like thin kind of glossy magazine paper. They've definitely upgraded that now.
That's a doable monster for 34 turns.
Yeah. I still like some of the. I don't know if I like the old school design, but it's kind of nostalgic. It's kind of fun. I was doing some design things in the 90s, so it's not too different than what they did here. Soviet Player's Aid, Axis Player's Aid. I'm going to hide that. Now the counters, there were some clipped already, but I was like, when I saw those counters,
what
I was
did
like,
you
okay.
hide?
What's that?
What did you hide?
I guess if I hit it, I didn't want to tell you.
Okay, sorry.
Anywho, so when I saw those counters, like, oh, that's not too many counters. That's not bad. And I got to the bottom of the box. I'm like, oh, holy crap. There's more counters. But they look pretty good. They're pretty readable. They just do a pretty good job nowadays putting a little bit more details of like formations and stuff on them. So there's 2 counter sheets. I'm like, okay. Oh,
I love the counters from OCS.
3. There's counter sheet number 3. Oh, wait. Oh, here's another one. 4.
And Mark has scans in all his, doesn't he? Did he put scans in there?
He did not in this one.
Okay.
And then 5. But all the system markers have already been punched. So I don't even probably need to punch these planes because he's got the new ones out. Now, this was an interesting thing, and I talked to Jeff about this. I mean, briefly, he just kind of looked it up on Board Game. So it said original maps. So these are the 4 original maps. So what happened is they redesigned them. You said they released them in 2000?
2001, I think.
Okay, to go with the Case Blue map, or to go with the Case Blue, right? You think, as far as you saw?
Yeah, updated and replaced by the Case Blue maps.
So what I'm going to show you are the newer maps. I'm not going to look at the old maps, just because.
So these would be legitimately the maps for Case Blue that you've got in your hands right now.
And I'm so glad to see these town names, so I can destroy them when I.
Petrovsk.
whenever I say I'm by myself off air, I'm like, I get it. And then as soon as I turn the camera, I'm like, now to Poprakopovs.
I can't read that crap on it. Poltava.
So this is map A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold all these on the ground here, unfold them and put them together. So I'll just kind of do this initially. Oh, there's Rostov, baby.
Top. Oh, not anymore.
Yeah, Todd's second favorite SCS game.
This will become my favorite OCS game, though. No big major cities there. Oh, uh-oh. Boop, boop.
Stalingrad. That looks just. Wait a minute. Put that. Let's. Andrew.
That's pretty darn close.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it's much different, does it?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
To what?
Stalingrad Pocket too.
Oh.
Well, they do. They do. I mean, they remember their Barbarossa derailed and Autumn for Barbarossa. It was the same exact map.
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, it seems like that's a pretty common theme to a certain extent. Like, in terms of they did that with, I know they're talking about that being the case with Ardennes too.
What's wrong with that map? Why is that map there?
Huge.
Is that a scenario map?
No. So what they did is they've provided. I didn't read this yet, but I believe they provided a bigger one since it gets so concentrated with units.
Oh,
like EFS does for Leningrad.
So that's pretty cool.
That's incredible. That's a really good idea.
Very nice, same quality. So that thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, because there were multiple divisions in Stalingrad.
Accurate.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Let me now assemble these. Oh, we got some people watching. Oh, wait, do we have? Oh, I need to make you guys a.
Cool. We could buy a home.
I need to delete that message.
Lateral home come in, but what if Jeff needs Jeff is in the market for a new home.
That is true. Jeff,
have you gotten that information? So
yeah, I got it. You can go ahead and delete the hell out of it.
That's weird. Usually, I wonder if the girls are selling homes now because we usually get the ads for girls.
Huh.
Do you think maybe
it's on Twitch, so I can't. I'm not on Twitch, so I can't delete it. Oh well. All right, so let's see. This is map D. So I'm going to set this up on my floor, everybody. All right.
Hey,
Do you want to watch me set? I guess I could put you back on the screen. Just to.
Oh no.
So Jeff, have you? So here, I'll turn the cameras. Have you played this, Jeff?
I have not. I have not dabbled in any of the games that go as far as OCS. I don't think that go into that world. Because if I remember right, the Guderian Blitzkrieg, the most southern city on that map was Voronezh, which should be in the northwest quadrant of what you got.
Okay.
Because you were playing Stalingrad 42.
Yeah.
And that city was in the top left corner.
So I may not get this exactly right, but we'll get close.
Still a 4-map game, a monster in a 1.5-inch box. That's amazing.
I mean, it's Eastern Front, so there should be a relatively low counter density, but still, dang.
Not an OCS, man. I don't know how they get so many counters.
Okay.
You had 6 combat counter sheets? Jesus.
5.
Yeah, that's right.
5.
5. Oh, okay.
Well, actually,
only 5.
I think, yeah. So, where?
Stalingrad. God, that's got to be fun to play in OCS. Damn you, Todd Reed. Michael, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, thank you for having a real comment on here. Yeah, let us know who's watching, everybody. See, we got like 5 people watching, so let us know. 7? Cool.
I know that OCS, that MMP maps are not the prettiest maps in the world, but I don't have too many issues with them.
Well, there you go.
Now, were there by chance any naval counters in that game?
I didn't see any.
What the hell is that big blue batch of water up there above the Sea of Assault? What the hell is that?
Gulf attack. Oh, over here to the left.
Yeah.
The city is Zaporozhe.
Zaporozhe. So that's got to be where, is it the Don pours out? The Don or the Dnieper?
Yeah, I guess, because doesn't this then go over here, and then this is probably Crimea, right?
Yeah, that's the inlet. Okay, the Don is the one around Rostov, right?
The
Don
pocket.
The Don pocket.
Yeah, the Don is there.
Right, that's the Dnieper to the left.
Yes.
Comes into that. Okay.
So yeah, then that spits out. I don't know is that a lake or?
I'm not sure. I know there was just a lot of wet lands down there before you head down to the Crimea inlet there going across.
Yeah. So, wow. I mean, fortunately, my table is 6'4", so 6x4, so it would fit on it.
Yep.
But man, 5 counter, 4.5 counter sheets. Oh boy. So there's a bunch. Some that take 2, some that take 1. So there's the map. You're right. I mean, they're not. So like the East Front series, I think their maps are better looking, right? I think.
Well, they're cleaner. I mean, because there's not as much, well, I don't know. I mean, West Front just seems like they're so forest covered. It's not funny, but
yeah. But what I like about these maps for all these OCS games and East Front series, and what's that one you're waiting on, Jeff? The one that's on the boat from Jack Rady.
Oh, Force and Pocket 2.
I mean, those huge East Front games, you just really you realize like what are you thinking?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. Well, and then the EFS series, I think it's 22 maps if you have all 6 of the games or whatever.
Oh my gosh,
that's a lot. Who's going to do it? I mean, it's nice that you can set them up and look at them. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that whole series they're working on right now, that's part of the Third Winter. It goes up and down the entire East Front.
Yeah, and I don't remember if any of the OCS games have Leningrad. Which one would have Leningrad in it?
That's what Hero City is, isn't it?
I don't know. Is that another OCS that's coming?
It's the one that's a part of the. I don't think there's well, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if there's an early war, because I think they're like mid-war Leningrad. So probably.
Yeah, but they went into. I mean, they were there forever.
Right.
So the Russians finally got enough to counter out.
I don't know. So there's the map. That's all the stuff in it. Oh yeah, let me read the thing from the designer notes here. Kind of made me chuckle. Ha ha. Oh, here I can show this too. Think how big the map would be if the entire thing was like that. Oh, you can't see it on there very well.
Oh my God. You have to clear your room.
Oh man.
Oh, if the entire thing was the same scale as that Stalingrad map?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Let's see here. Okay, where are these notes? Oh, here we go. Oh man, where did that go? Blah blah blah. Supply levels. Oh man, where did I see the thing that really humbled you about this game here?
And then the next one is what the supply rules are. They like the original one I played, or are they the newer version? I don't know where the turnover mark was.
I don't know. Here's Welcome to the gamers and our definition of total game sport. We're here to help. Call a phone number. You can I'll go online on Genie.
On what?
Genie was.
Genie. You can email us welcome. You can reach us at the address of the gamers. You can send a letter or fax. And we don't require things like SASEs or yes/no format. And then you can also give input to Operations Magazine.
I'm just going to give you a bit of a heads up based on my experience with Avalon Hill stuff. They won't actually send you stuff. You can email them all. You can send them all the letters you want to.
That's a bummer, dude.
Yeah.
The font size on this index is got to be about 8 or 6. They got optional rules. I mean, God, look at this freaking tiny font.
I know.
I mean,
and it's 3 column it's like an old SPI one. Oh, it's 4 column, isn't it?
This is 4 columns.
Oh my Lord.
Well, this is just for the glossary and definition, so they figured they're saving some space, which I'm cool with. That's fine. Okay, so first edition. No, that's not what I wanted. I'm having a heck of a time finding it here. So Jeff, I mean, you like East Front series better than OCS, right? Generally.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do. A lot of it might just be the appearance, but I gotta say that the OCS probably, when you're actually moving pieces, probably flows better. But EFS, you're not the mass stacking of counters is not there, and so they're both very good. So I like both good systems. I like, just East Front. It doesn't matter to me. It's just freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, that's true. You just love the thing. All right, so it does talk about supply. It's kind of cool because having all the different additions of rules would be fun if you really knew the system, because you could see the evolution of it and you know it. I mean, I don't really, they talk a lot about in this one, because this is version 2.0, about the gamey stuff. Like they really started to see people doing gamey stuff with things.
Right.
And then they also noticed, like, it said here, what did I see here? Repeated playing then showed that paying for supply for everyone on the map every turn was a mechanical monkey drill and a waste of playtime for those who didn't screw it up. In other words, those players who couldn't figure out how to add and move supply around.
It did take time, that's for sure. But then when you used it, you were done.
This led to the trace-like supply system for basic substance and a redoubled importance of combat supply and the importance of fuel.
So the difference, now with the newer system is when you do your initial supply, your trace, if there's no reason for you to burn a point, there's no point burning unless a unit cannot get its trace supply on its normal thing. So that's where a big time saver was. It was just looking and saying, oh, okay, he's good. And then the only points you were burning for like say, were for the unique situation where a unit couldn't do a regular trace to a source, or you were fueling up mobile units.
Okay. Yeah. So player's notes. Warning, this game system takes time to play. Game turns take longer to get through than you think, and much longer than it seems, since time seems to fly. It is not designed for beginners. These rules are for veteran players. The best bet in larger games is to play 1 turn per gaming session and let the game stand between sessions. I believe a complete game in this series will only take about as long as the time needed to play one of our CWB games. Suffices to say, this is not a game system for weak minds.
What the hell am I doing playing, man?
Well, same here. I hope to give you a few pointers here to stave off catastrophe long enough for most players to get used to the system. Some of these things here are tricks of the trade. So it's kind of cool. They just go through things that are critical and things that are, techniques to figure out. So that's kind of, I don't know, it's fun stuff. I feel like they try to take a friendlier approach. I mean, it's nice. I like the wording there, and I think that's how gamers talk to each other. But
evening, Tim. How you doing, buddy? Hey, so move your rules away there. All right, so it looks like you've got everything to play. Wow, man, you've just about got everything. This has got Case Blue written all over it for sure. What's the highest major city over there to the? Is that Kharkov? Up there to the top left.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got pretty much everything. I mean, you're going to have to really look at those scenarios because it looks to me like you've got the map here is enough to cover Case Blue. When was Citadel, Andrew?
That's Kursk.
Okay. You've got Stalingrad. The only thing I'd say is maybe the right side of the map to the below Stalingrad, not quite to do all of the two flanks of Uranus.
Okay.
I would say it needed to go a little bit more to the right. You've got everything to do all the fighting in the Don Basin, the pocket. So I mean, there's got to be scenarios for when Manstein set up the block just to the east of Rostov to allow 1st Panzer Army to get back across the river. That's got to be somewhere. Well, yeah, that's not Manstein's backhand blow was when the Russians were surging across the Don, and Manstein came in. It seems like every time he came in from the south to sort of slap them and cut off their progression.
Yeah, so that's only played on maps A and B.
Okay.
And it's 8 turns, 27 to 34 are the turns.
So is one of the scenarios where he sets up 4th Panzer Army or whatever he's got to screen Rostov so that 1st Panzer Army can get back across the Don when they're running away from the oil fields.
Yeah, hold on, let me look here.
And then is there a scenario where you're driving all the way to Stalingrad?
So there's two scenarios deal with Star and the Gallop or Soviet offensives. I don't hear much about those called that anyway.
Right.
Little Saturn. So Stalingrad 42 didn't but it came out with that Saturn expansion, I think, in Winter Storm.
Patrick, good evening. You are welcome, sir. Todd loves to do this stuff.
Oh, yeah. He does. So the Stalingrad relief operation.
That would be Hoth that Andrew was talking about.
So that's Stalingrad Pocket. No.
That's part of Stalingrad Pocket, but it's not the main focus. That's one of the scenarios in it.
Okay, that's the one I played in that one.
Yes.
Operation Wintergewitter.
Wintergewitter, yeah. I got a game from ATO on that.
Then the Chira River battles.
That's good. Those will be over here around or to the southeast of Stalingrad.
Yeah, it says right here. It says map D east of 22. So that's.
I mean, that's what always goofs me up about Stalingrad Pocket is the fact that the map is not oriented. It's like 45 degrees askew.
Right.
So that's all
river. Where's Kalash? Put your finger on Kalash. She'll be along the river there to the east of Stalingrad. Or west, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What's the town name?
Kalash, Kalach. It should be just left of Stalingrad somewhere. And it should be at the junction of the rivers and roads. Yeah, so that's like a focal point of everything around Kalash once the Russians started, or around Stalingrad once the Russians started moving.
Okay.
And then that river, that's the Chira River, I believe, running out of it.
That should be running like northwest.
Yeah, this is Dawn. The
Chira has a bend in it, and that's where that action should be around.
That's got to be the Chira River there, just left of Stalingrad.
Well, it's
the Don is the one over here coming out of Rostov.
Yeah, no, this is the Don.
No, the Don. No, the Chira is way down by Kalach.
Yeah, it's where the right edge of his shadow is, right in there. That should be the Chira in that area somewhere.
This is.
Yeah, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, the Don is interesting. It goes here all the way around up there.
But what's the river coming that peels off of the Don there just to the east of Rostov, going north?
There's a bunch of them, dude.
Donets.
Donetsk. Okay, I'm sorry, Donetsk. Don and Donetsk. Okay.
And then Donetsk goes all the way up into Kharkov. Well,
What's that? What's that one over there by Stalingrad?
This is Volga.
I know.
Oh, you were being funny?
I was making a haha.
Yeah, well, you can stop. So it says Uranus, this scenario deletes most of the special rules, blah, blah, blah. That's map C and D. And this is essentially Stalingrad Pocket's big brother.
There you go.
Yes.
That's
like I said, Stalingrad Pocket starts with the kickoff of Operation Uranus. So it starts with the Soviet counteroffensive and the pincers trying to close.
All right. When does what's the time frame on this again? This box?
19 November 42 to 14 March 43.
All right. When did Case Blue kick off?
I have no idea.
Probably the spring of 42 or summer of 42.
Yeah,
right?
So man, there are so many operations right there on that map.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
It seems like it's the entire Army Group South, isn't it? For the most
Pretty
part.
much. And then they split them A and B somewhere along the line, right?
Oh, between Army Group A and B?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So then what does Case Blue cover? What do they add to it? Crimea?
No, Crimea wouldn't have been part of Case Blue.
Crimea was fall blau, was it not?
No,
fall,
Crimea was its.
When Crimea was taken? 41 or 42?
Well, okay, so Case Blue or Fall Blau started along the Donetsk, right?
I'm not sure. I just know years. Was Crimea taken in 42 or 41, though?
I don't. If
Crimea
it was 41,
was
it was at the end of 41.
Yeah, so that would be fall gelb. That'd be Case Yellow.
No,
right?
Case Yellow is France.
What the hell is whatever?
Barbarossa
was called. You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, we need some history help here, people. Hey, Patrick, what's up? This guy named Minnie Warmuts on here?
Hey, buddy, what's up? Hopefully the family stuff's going well.
Yeah,
well, it's just interesting. It's just interesting that Case Blue is bigger. So Hube's Pocket. So since it's going to kind of guess around here and stuff. Thanks to all the people watching, by the way. And Hube's Pocket covers what?
So I don't know much about Hube's Pocket. Wasn't he the one that pushed to the Volga and then he was sort of surrounded on, well, two sides because the river was in the way, just like on the north side of Stalingrad. Is that Hube's Pocket? So I don't know enough about that fight.
The only thing I know about Hube's Pocket was that it was always full of stuff.
Constantly.
Always. If he'd understood pocket sand, the Soviets would have been stopped dead in their tracks.
All right. Let's quit guessing around here.
I'm looking at it.
That's not a guess. Pocket sand will stop the most determinative attackers.
Here we go. Hube's Pocket map. Found one. The pocket of Kamenets Podolsky.
Wait, are you showing some?
I'm looking at it on. So it's 1st Panzer Army, and the towns are Kamenets and Proskorov. See, I don't have nothing to match it against here. Ternopil. There's Ternopil.
Okay, so I'm just looking at this atlas here. And so the first one is obviously Barbarossa, and then they talk about this is not going to be a comprehensive listing of all the operations, but Operation Typhoon was September to December of 41.
There we go. Jeff Anderson says Case Blue started June 28th.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Thanks. We got 11 people on here. I figured someone would know. So,
thank you, Jeff.
So Operation Typhoon takes him up to right up to Taganrog.
Typhoon?
Yeah.
I thought Typhoon was Moscow.
Well, it's
the stretch of it. Okay, I got you. Never mind. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that was a goal, right? But everything else was moving too. So it kind of just was pretty much a straight line from Taganrog, probably kind of along the river here. So just on this side of
because Crimea, because I remember reading about when it was turned over, when that southern portion for Crimea was turned over to von Manstein, that most of the troops that he were given, he decided that they needed to push to Rostov first to secure that, and then backtrack to take Crimea. I want to say, but I don't know if he ever got that far. Because obviously, hell, I don't even know when freaking Sevastopol fell.
That's in Crimea, so probably at some point in time, right around there.
Siege of Sevastopol.
Or actually, I don't know when it fell. That's a good point.
Siege of Sevastopol was December 41 to July of 42.
Yeah, there you go.
Case Blue started in June of 42. Right. There's a website dedicated. It's called cubespocket.com.
Careful.
Oh, am I not allowed to say that? Sorry.
Oh no. Oh yeah. So then they pushed all the way down to. This doesn't say it was called Case Blue, but then it talks about the Caucasus from June to November of 42.
Right. So the Caucasus were part. So Case Blue's okay. So Case Blue was to get to the river at Stalingrad originally, and then build the screen going east of Stalingrad so that they could work on the Caucasus.
Yeah, and so this is how far they got into November of 42.
Right.
And they're Stalingrad.
And the only reason they had to pull back was because Stalingrad was such a failure.
Yeah, they should have just backed up that. And then it talks about the Battle of Stalingrad through February 43. Battle of Kharkov, 29 January to 20 February 43.
Do you see a town on that map called Ternopil?
Some direction where it might be.
I'm looking at the rivers here. God, looks like it's way back. This looks like it. Oh, this is so Hube's Pocket was in March of 44. Oh wow, this doesn't even cover that.
Okay. Oh wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look through these maps here and kind of to get myself a grasp of where things work. But so that's pretty much it. I'm excited about it. There's, maybe someday if Case Blue comes down below $250, maybe I'll jump on it. But
or if I die before you
before I die, I mean,
which one was full?
Like I said, Mark. So Mark Rosario is who I bought it from. He's selling a lot of stuff on Facebook. Who knows? Maybe Ardwolf will do another sale for him. But if you see him selling and there's a game you're interested in, like I saw this, I've been really trying to limit my games, but this is OCS is a system I'm focusing on this year, so it fell right in. And I know I'm not gonna buy Case Blue. I mean, the chance of me playing this whole maps is pretty low. So
but still, 34 turns to play the whole campaign. That is for a monster. That's amazing.
Yeah. So 30, according to the player's notes, 34 sessions.
Yeah. OCS is huge compared to SCS, Chuck.
Charles, that's why you don't hear me talking a lot right now, Charles.
Yeah. He's McMurray's here just for the looks and the good looks. All right. Anything else? Any other comments in the thing? Charles, thanks for coming on. Jeff, thanks for your help. Yeah, thank Google. Sure. Compared to SCS, well, that's an interesting question, Chuck. Like, what do you mean? I mean, SCS is 8 pages of rules, and this version of it is 36, but I think it's up to 50, isn't it now? Probably.
Well, there's a lot of riffraff in the rule book too, though.
Yeah.
Was it 4.0, I think?
Yeah, 4.03 or 4.3 or whatever. So there's that. Supply is a lot more like we were talking about earlier, Chuck. I don't know, Charles, how soon you get on here, but they convert a lot of these games. So like Stalingrad's Pocket would take place on generally on those two maps over there, give or take. I mean, it's like cut off up here, I think. And like Andrew said, it's all askew.
It is. It's frustrating when you're looking at the map.
And it's a one mapper. and so
It
they zoomed out a bit or something. So these
It's
are
a
usually
busy one mapper, but it is.
Are these divisions and battalions and regiments, or divisions? I'm not sure what the playing pieces are.
Divisions, battalions. Yeah, Pierre's got it right. So complicated due to spot. So the biggest flip from what I've gathered from playing the original rules with Guderian's Blitzkrieg to the 4.03 is the two biggest things they addressed were using supply routines and then the air. The air was some of the rules of air were changed, but I don't know too much about like the ground movement stuff like that. I don't know how much of that was. I mean, I know there was stuff that was rearranged, but I don't think it was as drastic. I think it was mostly supply and air.
Right. So, and air is more complicated. Artillery is a little bit more detailed. Everything's just a little bit more detailed.
Yeah.
And so it's just, there's more things to think about. There are way more pieces, and yeah, supply and logistics is a big deal. But
well, that's your make or break for the axis on the East Front.
Well, yeah, I think that's why the East Front is such a good area for it.
These OCS games are awesome, man.
Yeah, there's just something cool about how they
and I like the fact that with OCS, because I always hear me hollering about maneuver warfare, mobility, and stuff. I mean, the East Front just provides, compared to the West Front, it provides the best. And OCS really, with reserve units being able to move a quarter of their movement, and then release them from reserve at full movement rate. There's your breakouts right there.
So how different is reserve from OCS to SCS? Because an SCS reserve basically just lets you hold units,
right,
kind of like an exploitation phase, but you don't get to also do anything in movement.
Yeah, they don't. So the difference is you place them in reserve in SCS, they sit still until that phase. But in OCS, during the regular movement cycle, they can move a quarter of their movement. So you've got a Panzer division sitting on a road. They can fly quite a way,
quite a bit. Yeah, okay.
And then they get full movement during the export or during when you release them.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And they can overrun, and then there's a combat phase that follows it. So,
I mean, there's exploitation too, right? If you get a result.
Yeah, and then you have the levels of exploitation. Anybody who has a value, depending on what you roll, if their value meets or exceeds whatever the combat results table said, those people will get another go round. So,
really?
We got some really good breakout rules in the East Front ones of these.
Another cool thing that people like about it is the surprise.
Oh yeah.
So every unit's got a action rating. So it's this small 2 on here you can't really see. So it's a 12-2-2. This is an 8-4-6. So you roll on a table for an attack, and you roll for surprise, and that can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
So like you could be going to an understrength unit, and if that unit happens to roll good on the surprise table, it can be
a real surprise dice shift roll you make.
Yeah,
afterwards, that can be massive.
So yeah, you could be a 5-1 attack going in, and they get, I don't know if this is possible, but a 6 shift and go from 5-1 to 1-1 or 1-2 or something.
Oh yeah, you can get if you roll a 6 on the column shift. Yeah, you can go from 12-1 down to, and of course they don't go standard 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4. They skip, so you can drop down 6 tiers, and that's that. And I think that's great because that just to me says, hey, this unit, even though it's smaller, they were in good prepared positions.
Yeah, I was about to say it's cool that they can abstract, whatever tactical advantage into a system like that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because it provides you the opportunity for those cool last stands and whatnot and statistical improbabilities that ordinarily you don't necessarily get to see so much in board games.
Yeah, and Pierre's got it right. It doesn't take a unit to block a supply line, that's for sure. You get partisans, and I don't know there were partisans in the Guderian's Blitzkrieg, I think, that I played. No, or what game was I playing? You get partisans in these games that get behind lines and operating. Oh, it was in the East Front Series, and they can get on a supply route, and just mess everything up. So you really, I think the main focus of OCS, especially on this side of the world, is pre-planning. I mean, you can't just look and say, oh, okay, I need to go move over and take that city. You got to say, if that's your primary objective, okay, what route am I going to take? Do I have a rail line going up in there? That could really dictate what the Axis nation Axis powers have to do.
Yeah. Do I have rail? They really talk about garrisoning your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like the air rules, you can have fighter sweeps, so you can go clear the skies out.
Right.
You can have bombers come in and do runs, which is like artillery. And then there's something called hip shoots. Not quite clear what those are, but
hip shoots are cool when they work.
So yeah, and RMA is on here. What's up, man? So Charles, so you say I'm going to stick with my 19.4x games, and I'll tell you, I was at that point, and I would say I could still be at that point, because while they don't compare as far as like intensity and size and complexity, to me they're kind of comparable in that you're seeing a large swath of a campaign like Stalingrad 42, and you can get a lot of, they go into it. Mark does a good job of designing a lot of details into it. So to me, those are a nice step back from these games. If you're like, that's a little too much, I think the 19.4x games can be a good replacement for that if you want. So, and then
something lighter on the brain,
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get a game
has 2,800 counters in that game.
What game? Case Blue?
No, Enemy at the Gates.
Are you serious? Oh my
5
God.
combat sleeves and 3 marker sleeves.
Have fun.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Lease over.
No, I could just hear Todd McMurray help me play it, which is fair, but Jesus, buddy.
Yeah,
well, you could do something like this with Todd just for tactical decisions.
Accurate.
Yeah, I would be interested, just based on your style of play, how you would work with this.
Because Todd would be able to say, hey, here's what we got in this area. Here's what can be used. And then McMurray could go from there.
Aggressively.
But the thing is, you have to kind of like plan. You might have to wait a couple turns as you build up supply and position your troops.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'd have to see. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know, Chuck, if I can do that. These are small little hexes for these small little counters.
I'm not good at games. I don't know.
I'm not either. Okay. Hey, I think that's good. We're losing people. They're like, oh, I'm done. So thanks to everybody. Hey, thanks, guys, for coming on and helping me do this unboxing. Thanks, Mark, for sending me a cool game. May that money go well to helping you and your wife heal up quick and healthy for us all, so we can meet at a game convention and play some games or something. But thanks all again. Look for Mark if he's selling something. If hopefully, if you're watching this many years from now, I don't need to worry about it, and they're all healthy. So, all right, that's that. Thanks all. Thanks Jeff and McMurray for coming on, giving me some color commentary and good looks from McMurray. Well, that's all it. Thanks all.
See you.
All right. See you.